Hey everyone, this is Dante Starshine, here with you to shine some new light today. Very excited to share with you as always. Today I'm announcing that I'm starting to change the name of my platform for sharing my services and my work online. It's been called BlissBeings here on YouTube and on my website, and the Facebook page is unfortunately going to remain Be Bliss forever because you can't change the name of Facebook pages. But I am changing it to Dante Starshine, and this is just my name. This is just who I am, um, and I share myself, and I have a specific set of skills, and I don't need to describe it as a certain brand beyond here's Dante. Starshine is a name that I just kind of pulled out of the magic box when I made my Instagram account. I was like, what do I call myself? And I feel like Starshine has just stuck with me. It's the only name that I have accepted that has really felt like, oh yeah, this is me, because shining the light, and I'm working with those beings up there in the stars. So welcome to the channel Dante Starshine, and that's what it's going to be from now on. And changing it from Bliss Beings, it first of all never felt that cool, Bliss Beings. I was like, should I go for this? Is this the right name? And people were like, oh, I love it. It's so great. And I thought there was something really cool about how Bliss Beings and Be Bliss, it's like you can just switch them back and forth. And I was channeling beings of bliss. And the Pleiadians and all of those extraterrestrials certainly are beings of bliss. They're very high vibration, though we're not them. Ultimately, at this moment, we are in human bodies. I'm sure they're watching this video too, though they understand that this video is directed towards human individuals, and it's really about ending this idea that bliss is the goal, and ending this idea that feeling good is better than feeling bad. And of course we would prefer to feel good, and I've talked certainly about the idea of diving into your pain head on and facing it and accepting it and loving that and letting that be the pathway towards bliss. Though unfortunately we have so many associations with bliss, and when most people hear that or go into these spiritual fields, it's like it's a bliss chase. And I've been a bliss chaser for many years, and I've found that it just doesn't really last. For one, when you set out on this goal, or you have this idea of what's really going to make you happy, and then you get it, there's always this feeling of an emptiness, because it often takes so much energy to get there. And it's like, wow, here I got to this projected beautiful experience, though here I am and all my conditioning is still here. And of course, by going through that experience, you get to a higher state where it's more easy to release that conditioning, though it's still the chase, and the chase is so often an avoidance of what is not preferred. So even like it was right after I made this my name and everything, I was having a conversation with someone, and she was like, bliss isn't the goal, and I could understand that, but I even branding myself with bliss beings made me feel like I don't want to admit to this not being the way. It's so catchy, and but that idea stayed with me, and it never felt fully synchronized with what I was doing and what I was offering. And I'm trying to find a deeper grounding now, and doing the things that I know ground me, though there's even deeper levels of grounding that I'm working to find for myself, as that's really going to be key right now. And what I've experienced over the years is that, I've really spiritually had experiences that took me to huge next levels, and then it was always followed by great challenges. I've really empowered myself to the point that my workshops and the things that I love sharing were successful, and most rewarding of all, I've seen how it was successful for others and really allowing them to make great changes, and that was the biggest reward of all of it. Though none of it really stayed. I never stayed perpetually in that state. I always remembered those states of supreme connection, and I've never forgotten it, and I always know that it's always there, that connection to source and that awe and wonder is always there. Though when we make the state of not bliss bad and the state of bliss and joy good, it's the only acceptable state, we keep ourselves a lot further from that state. There's a lot of these emotional guidance system handouts, and all of these teachers and coaches give you this paper or show you this image where at the top there's they're all kind of put in different ways. Like Abraham Hicks has it as spirals going up and down. Some have it as like little like waves. My favorite one is with the waves. They show you how quick or how steadily the waves move. And this one comes from Joe Dispenza. At the top, there's usually at the top there's like enlightenment, peace, appreciation, bliss. Bliss is like top level. But then in Joe Dispenza's, above that, there's one called completion. So I would once say that, like, oh, bliss isn't just the joy. Bliss is allowing for the terror and the fear and the sadness and the anger within it. And that's like an ecstatic state. I've had a lot of states where all of the emotions I ever experienced were occurring simultaneously, and perhaps all of the emotions of the earth plane that we experience here were being experienced simultaneously too. And that really opened me up, and that's like perhaps one of the highest states of connection we have, is like when it's all there, when we can have an awareness of the allness of it. So above bliss, Joe Dispenza put contentment, not contentment, completion. So completion feels a lot different than bliss because it does contain all of those different experiences. It's not an avoidance of any experience. And in the wave graph, rather than moving up and down so much, the completion wave is just kind of still. So what is the goal here? Well, of course it is to manifest your own heart's desires, to live from your heart. Though the truth is that on this planet and in this universe, until everyone is free, no one is totally free. And we are coming to realizations that we're not separate beings, and that what affects one person affects everyone. And that awareness has to grow. I think there's a lot of, it's like sort of assumption in how our world works right now, that as long as I'm happy, everything will be okay. I just need to take care of me. And that leads to more of what we have on the planet. And really, like, what we're going for to become a telepathic species, to become in contact with extraterrestrials and everything, is to have our hearts more fully open. And that's what allows us to feel that bigger energetic transference of energies between people. That's what allows us to feel what the others are feeling. So even if we can get to states of bliss, we need to be able to hold the space for the emotions that other people are going through, and not have a resistance, not say, I can't feel that, because those other people heal the most when we can feel it, and we don't take it on, we don't re-download into our system that energy and that belief and all of the structures that make up that energy, but we allow ourselves to feel it, because we go beyond our limited sense of self into this greater sense of self in which everyone is a part of us. We are all the universe, so we contain everyone within us in the highest sense of self that we can experience. And I've had experiences where my happiness and my joy were really offensive to other people, and at first I was like, well, that's just their trip, you know, like, of course the positive energy is going to bring out the dark energy in other people, though this is a place where happiness is better turned and channeled into compassion. That if we are in a peaceful state, we are never going to make anyone's problem worse. Though sometimes that joy and that happiness, this was a weird lesson for me, but sometimes when we project that out to someone who's in such a lower state, like right up in their face, it will actually make the state they're in worse, because it makes them feel the gap between where they are and where they want to be even more. So it's just about having the compassion to be like, oh, okay, you're feeling that lost, and let's see what I can do to bring you up to the next step with me. And that's the kind of attitude we have to have on this planet for everyone. So I'm hoping that what I offer, like I always have the vision in the back of my mind of a world of true equality and true oneness where everyone is given the same rights and the same resources are allotted for everyone. And I think about that a lot. So I think that compassion over bliss is a clearer way to hold that in our hearts. Um, and, you know, the chasing of the bliss, like whenever I would find myself just going for bliss, like bliss is the only thing allowed, like I'm just gonna ignore those deeper emotions in me and bring them right back up to that positive state. That's one of the biggest disasters that happened in my life. And there I was, like, you know, a year ago in Hawaii after this big eruption, and just like I'm broken on many levels, emotionally, physically, financially, and I'm still there trying to be bliss beings, and it felt like such a farce. And then, you know, I was able to pick myself back up again, though. What I intend for myself is to not go through those ups and downs, which are always a part of life, though they don't have to be such big things. They can be smaller scale ups and downs that we just notice throughout the day rather than getting smacked in our face. And a lot of the face smacking of the universe can only come from our own denial. And for me, this is about being real and seeing how much work it's going to take for this planet to really change. It's not about just chasing your own bliss, it's about seeing the way that you can live that's so authentic and honorable that it just gives you this peace and it uplifts others. And today that's what I'm going for. And so there's a lot of reasons there why I've found this name to be incomplete for myself, and I'm moving up towards completion, hopefully. And here I am with you as Dante Starshine, shining the light of the stars, channeling the star beings, and hopefully there's a lot more of that soon. I've got 2 channelings coming up that will be very exciting, and I'm going to do some new work, a new kind of technique and strategy that my guides have shown me with some new clients next week, and that's going to bring a lot of new information as well. And I just feel the creativity bubbling, so you'll see more from me really soon. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'm always available if you want to connect for channeling sessions and coaching sessions and all of that fun stuff. Hope you have a beautiful, blessed day, and catch you later.